Okay, third time's a charm. Thank you everyone for telling me on the last video that you could see me and you can hear me. Thank you. I was looking at the wrong video on my phone here and I was like, oh, I'm not live. I wanted to share one of the things that I had made to show you we talked about the fuck it foods last week and I wanted to show you the green, the yellow, and the red diagram that I had made of, like how to eat and how many, last week everyone's like, oh, so I can heal living on fuck it foods? No, but you can sprinkle them into this protocol and absolutely still heal. So guys, thank you so much for bearing with me as I figure out this tech shit. I normally, if I'm going to share something, I would normally use StreamYard, and I was just like, oh, I could probably do it in live, and I just walked in the door 5 minutes ago. I took my son for a walk outside. It's really, well, it's a little chilly, but it's kind of nice out. And I'm like, yeah, no, I'm good. Yeah, I'm never good. Like, this tech shit always gets to me. Anyway, okay, this is such a great topic because it's your questions answered. I went into the group, it was just yesterday, and there was a whole bunch of questions in there that I wanted to answer, and I knew that it was going to be a paragraph for an answer. I was like, you know what? Let me just take all of these and do a live at 5 tomorrow. It's so funny too. After I created the event, I figured I would go back to those posts and be like, hey, listen, I'm going to do tomorrow's live at 5 on this, just so you know. And I couldn't find any of those posts. I have been at this for years, and I don't know why the tech shit isn't getting any easier. One of these days, I'm going to be able to hire somebody. All right, Cynthia. Oh, you're here. Thank you so much. And thank you. You look fabulous. Thank you so much. Claire, hello for a third time. I know third time's a charm. I'm so sorry. I really want to appear like smooth and like I got this and hello everyone, welcome to the live at 5, but no, like every single time there is drama for me. So thank you for bearing with me, and if you're on here for the third time, if you found it, thank you so much. All right, Tanis, hello, thank you so much. All right, I took down a couple questions. Hold on, I got this. I took down a couple questions yesterday in the group, and then so the 4 questions that I want to answer today are: does wearing perfume really affect me? Do grounding mats help? And why don't I feel anything? Because someone just said I just threw mine out because I didn't notice a difference. I'm going to tell you why you don't notice a difference, but what they're actually doing inside of your body. It's so friggin' interesting. And no, I don't have a grounding mat, but I want to get one. But the one that I want is like $3,000, so that's why I haven't gotten one yet. There's always something better to spend $3,000 on. Why does celery juice make me nauseous and cause my stomach to make noises? And how often can I eat the fuck it foods? The topic that we did last week. Then I'm going to go into the thread and answer those questions because there's a bunch in there that are just super great questions. I come on here every Wednesday and I do the live at 5 and I give you another piece of the protocol. And if you were to ask me, when people do ask me, they say, well, what is let me lower these lights here. Well, what is the protocol? It's so friggin' simple, right? I mean, if you were to just list it out on paper, or if you were to answer it, you would say lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie, gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, remove the chemicals, remove the fragrances, right? Sounds really simple. It is the day-to-day details that make this protocol doable, understandable. There is so much that you need to know in order to understand, like, am I getting better? Is this working? I feel worse. You're going to feel worse before you get better. You're going to feel worse before you feel the increase. And the absolute key that I have learned in doing this now for a number of years is the peaks and valleys. If you understand the peaks and valleys of this protocol, then you can get through it. Because in the valleys, you feel like you're getting worse. And all the evidence all the evidence of our past supports that when we're having exacerbations, when we're having symptoms, they are exacerbations, and that means we're getting worse. But not when you're on the healing protocol, because the dead virus, we're fighting the Epstein-Barr virus. Medical science now knows this. Everyone now knows this. All autoimmune diseases, conditions are a symptom of the Epstein-Barr virus. The reason why they never knew that before is because the virus, the Epstein-Barr virus, leaves our bloodstream in stage 2, heads for an organ. Whatever organ it decides to live in will give us a collection of symptoms that leads us to the doctor, and then it is given a name. For us with multiple sclerosis, it's in our liver, it's in our spleen. And that's called multiple sclerosis. If your Epstein-Barr virus decided to take up residence in your thyroid, you'd have thyroidism, hypo. The fourth stage of Epstein-Barr is it wants to ride your nerves, because your nervous system is the freeway to all of your organs, where it could eat on the buffet. So that's why fibromyalgia, that's a diagnosis that you get later on after you've got your autoimmune disease for a number of decades. Then you're like, great, now I have fibromyalgia. That's just stage 4 of the virus. And the reason why it took medical science to catch up with this is because the medical medium blew the lid off of this in 2015 with his first book. And here we are in 2023, but only last year, 2022, the medical industry was like, you know what? I think there's something to this. I think we have to start recognizing that it is the virus. So the reason we take these blood tests, and they say, no, you only have the antibodies in your blood. That means that you have a past infection. So they never thought before that it was the Epstein-Barr virus. However, if they were to biopsy, which they don't because it's too expensive and invasive, if they were to biopsy our organs, they would see the Epstein-Barr virus in there, and then they would go, oh, this is where the virus is. So now the medical industry is just coming on board. They're also trying to shut down the medical medium too. I refuse to listen to that podcast and ruin my day. But listen, we have this information. We know what to do. So the protocol, yes, it's just a couple of bulleted points: lemon water, celery juice, heavy metal detox smoothie, gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free. But in doing that, you do little bit at a time, and you evolve into the process, because the whole point is to starve the virus, kill the virus, and detox it out of our body. If we kill the virus too quickly, it overwhelms our system, and then our symptoms get worse. And there's no way of knowing how fast we're doing it other than watching what we're feeling like and the symptoms that we get, so that when we start getting worse, we go, oh, okay, we're killing the virus way too fast, let me back off. And the reason why you start the lemon water and the celery juice and the heavy metal detox smoothies separately and evolve into each one is because you have to know what each one of those do to you, so you know what to back off of. If you started everything all at one time, and then all of these symptoms started happening, you'd be like, all right, well, what do I take a break from? I guess I'll just take a break from all of it. When you don't need to, you might just need to take a break from the celery juice and keep up with the lemon water and the heavy metal detox smoothie. We are always trying to mitigate the side effects of this healing, mitigate the die-off, while continuing to heal. So that's why the coaching comes in. It's very important that we do the Live at 5s, or we do the private coaching, or we do the group coaching. You have to know the answers to this, because it is scary as hell going through a trench, the peaks and valleys, the valleys I call trenches too, going through those valleys and not understanding that this is a sign of healing. You're actually doing it. Otherwise, you're like, oh my God, what did I do? I should have listened to the doctor. I should have went on the medication. Now I'm getting worse, and everyone around me is going to say, see, I told you so. It's such a mind fuck, and it's so scary. But if you know what's going on inside of your body, then you're like, actually, no, this is a sign of healing. I know it feels like shit, but healing anything feels like shit. Whether we're working on the physical level or the emotional level, healing feels like shit. It's not until after a level of healing has been reached that you're in that peak and you're feeling good, and that's when you've learned everything. The lessons are always in hindsight, right? How much does that suck? But that's the way it goes. It's just how humans work. It's always in the hindsight. So hello everyone, thank you for jumping on here. Let me know what your questions are as we go through these. I'm going to go in order of what the event was posted, what questions I posted in the event. You know what I'm talking about. Okay, so the first one was, does wearing perfume affect me, and how? Unfortunately, I'm really sorry. I hated finding this out, and I hate telling people this. So the medical medium, where are these lights coming from? Let me bring this light down a little bit. So what the medical medium describes, that's so much better. What the medical medium describes is that these chemical smells, whether they're from air fresheners, scented candles, perfume, shampoo, conditioner, body spray, body lotion, all of this shit that we're putting on our bodies is filled with chemicals, unfortunately. If you can smell it, the Epstein-Barr virus can feed on it. So here we are in this protocol, the Starve, Kill, Detox protocol. We're starving that virus. We're not eating the gluten, the dairy, the eggs. We're killing it with our immune system, and we're boosting up our immune system with all these healthy foods, and we're detoxing it out of our body. And then we go spraying ourselves with perfume, or we light a candle, or the air fresheners, right, or even the fabric softener, all of those chemicals are getting in our body, whether it's getting through our skin or it's the vaporized chemicals that we're smelling in the candles. And be careful, because I fell into this a couple of years ago. I bought all essential oil candles thinking, great, I'm just smelling essential oils. How bad can that be? They were scented with essential oils, so they had the chemicals in them plus the essential oils. So just make sure you do some reading, because I always miss like the important parts because it's in that little small tiny print. So this, by the way, I was opening up a plastic thing of yogurt, and I sliced on the plastic I sliced my finger wide open. So yes, it is a Wonder Woman Band-Aid, because I try to bring her into every part of my life where I can, even my Band-Aids. So the chemicals, unfortunately, they feed the virus. Even though we're just smelling them, we think they're invisible, right? Well, how much harm could they do? They're invisible. They're not. They're actually vaporized chemicals that actually have a waxy film to them. Even though we can't see them, they're microscopic, but they get into our bloodstream through the lungs. They get into our bloodstream, and then they travel through and they gunk up the liver. And that's where the virus is living and thriving in our liver. That's why it's so important that we clean the liver out with everything that we eat and everything that we don't eat. So that's why, the chemicals, I'm so sorry, but the chemicals, the perfume, any chemical smell that we can smell is feeding the virus. So I always say, if you can smell it, the virus can feed on it. I know it sucks. It's really bad. I'm so sorry. Oh, hey, Farah. Don't worry. I was late, too. I tried 3 times to get on this live, and I screwed it up each time. I was trying to share my screen, and then I just gave up. So hi. Rhonda. Yeah, Rhonda has healed herself through this entire protocol. She healed herself. And you know what she just said? Get rid of all that shit. Just get rid of it. It's not... Who said? Nothing feels, they said something, just don't use it. So what'd she say? So no sense. Farah, I'm sorry. No sense. No sense, because they feed the virus. And what are we trying to do? We're trying to kill the virus. So you don't want to go through your daily life or your household items and be feeding the virus while you're trying to struggle to go gluten-free and eat have the heavy metal detox smoothie every day. Meanwhile, you're feeding the virus with the chemicals. So you got to get rid of those. All right, so that was it. Yeah, Nicole, perfect. Instant headache with artificial fragrances. See, our bodies are telling us, the more sensitive you are, if you get the more your body, you're going to be able to read your body. So if you get an instant headache, that's your body going, dude, no fucking way, get this out of here. I can't handle this. And there's a reason for it. So listen to that. No chemical stuff. Michael, I stopped using everything because I could feel it messing with me, right? Whether you can feel it physically or you have that intuition, your body is always telling you. Joyce, nothing smells as good as healthy feels. Thank you. Thank you so much. Nothing smells as good as healthy feels. JC, thank you so much. And Claire, what about essential oils? Well, the medical medium is like, listen, relax on the essential oils. Yeah, they're not terrible for you, but people are overdoing it. They're slathering their body, and it becomes overwhelming to the nervous system. So, yes, essential oils, they're not as bad as chemicals. They're not going to feed the virus, but he said in themselves, too many essential oils, and it's overwhelming the body. So, I use essential oils. I use it in my vinegar. I use it in the peroxide that I spray to use as a cleaner. I use them all the time. I just don't do so many of them. And I guess you got to be careful what you tell people. The medical medium says, I used to say that essential oils were okay. He goes, but then I had people that were just slathering their bodies with essential oils and overwhelming their nervous system. So just be careful. Just be careful. Everything in moderation. Everything including, oh my God, I just got a haircut and it's freaking, I used to be able to do that with my long hair. All right, so this should be back in a ponytail. All right, so that was question number 1. Jesus Christ. All right, that was question number 1. Question number 2 was, do grounding mats help? A lot of people get their grounding mats and they're like, I don't feel anything. I'm going to throw this thing away. It was too much money. Let me explain a little bit about just a couple of drops, Claire, absolutely. Let me just tell you the concept. You can decide. I'm not going to tell you whether it's worth it or not, but I'm just going to give you the information that I have, and then you can decide if it's worth it or not. Do you remember when we talked about antioxidants in vegetables and what they do to you, the superheroes, right? So I love telling the story of the superheroes. There are these superheroes on this planet. I'm going to give you the Cliff Notes version. These superheroes on these planets that come into our body, and they're wearing their capes because they're superheroes. And lining their cape are electrons. They fly into the body and they throw electrons at all the free radicals. What's a free radical? A free radical is a molecule that's missing an electron. So when you hear about free radicals all the time being the cause of inflammation, chronic disease, free radical is an unhealthy cell. It's an unhealthy, unstable cell because it's missing an electron. Every cell needs a certain number of electrons, protons, neutrons to be healthy. Our cells, whether they're healthy or unhealthy, stable or unstable, are constantly replicating. So these free radicals inside of our body, free radicals come in all the time, just through digesting our foods, through chemicals. Even if we're eating all organic, you still can't prevent chemicals from coming in your body and disrupting cell growth. Disrupting cell growth, what does that mean? It means that the cell is breaking down. Rancid oils that we talked about a couple weeks ago. Rancid oils, when you heat up an oil and you break down its molecular structure, or when the manufacturing company heats up the oil to get it in the bottle and on the shelf and eventually to you, the molecular structure is broken down. What does that mean? It's missing an electron. Missing electrons are free radicals. Cells with missing electrons are free radicals. Free radicals cause the inflammation, the chronic disease, and when they duplicate, that's what cancer is. Cancer is a big mass of free radical cells. So how do we get rid of the free radical cells in our body? Well, we throw electrons at them. We put the superheroes in our body, and the superheroes come in and throw electrons at them, because a free radical cell is an unstable cell that will go to the other cells in your body going, I need an electron, I'm completely unstable, I need to be stabilized, give me an electron. And it steals an electron. Then it becomes stable. But the cell or the molecule that it just stole the electron from, now that's unstable. And then that does the same thing. And the process continues throughout your body. And these free radical cells, these unstable cells, are replicating themselves. So the fruits and vegetables, the superheroes of the body, they come in and they throw electrons at everybody because they can give away electrons without becoming unstable themselves, right? So antioxidants are the superheroes. Antioxidants throw radicals, I'm going too fast, throw electrons at free radicals and they stabilize them without becoming unstable themselves. We find these antioxidants in fruits and vegetables. So let's go back to grounding mats. Grounding mats are plugged into the wall. You know the 3 prongs of an outlet? There's not the 2 prongs, but that one thick prong, that's what goes into the wall. That's what grounds you into the earth, and that's what helps release from the mat electrons. So the concept is, whether or not this actually happens, I can't tell you, I don't know. I'm telling you the concept behind a grounding mat, how it's supposed to work. That grounding mat, as long as your skin is touching it, not through your pajamas, right? If you have pajamas on and then you sleep on the mat, it's not going to do it. It has to be skin to mat contact for you to absorb the electrons that mat is releasing. Those electrons get absorbed through the skin, and then they calm down the inflammation by giving those free radicals the electrons, the missing electrons that they need to become stable. That's why you're not going to feel a difference with the grounding mat, because when you eat fruits and vegetables, you're not going to feel the free radicals turning into stable cells. But over time, you're going to start healing and bringing down the inflammation if you're using this as a tool in your toolbox with the rest of the stuff that you're doing. Eating gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free, drinking the celery juice, drinking the lemon water, doing all of these things for your body. The grounding mat is just one more thing to do to bring in those electrons, to calm down those free radicals and turn them into healthy cells. It's the same thing with grounding outside on the earth, or some they call it earthing. Bare feet on the ground, the earth is constantly releasing free electrons, literally free. They're free to everybody. Free electrons. Those electrons are floating up through the ground and in the atmosphere, and you can absorb them through your skin. And so those are the electrons, right, that your free radical cells need to become stable. So Does all of this shit work? Well, it seems to make sense. There's science behind it. Are you going to feel it? No, not really, because you're not feeling it when you eat the fruits and vegetables. Yeah, you feel good because you just ate, but you don't understand what's going on inside your body. This is all compounded over time. All of these things that you're doing for yourself, they all add up to health. So that's why not one thing is going to make a difference like that grounding mat. But I think that in combined with all the other things that you're doing are going to compound and eventually lead to health. Because my God, before I had this protocol, before I ran into the medical medium, it took me forever to heal myself, because I was constantly reading all these different things and going, oh, maybe I'll try that and maybe I'll try that, and I never really stuck with anything. The only thing that I really stuck with was the gluten-free, because I knew how it made me feel. I had a direct feeling. So I knew my body wasn't attacking itself. I knew it was either attacking a virus, a fungus, or a bacteria. So I treated my body like it had all three. It wasn't any one specific thing. Amy says, how do you get around cleaning supplies and all the scents in them? It's so hard to find anything cleaning related without scents. No, Amy, you're right. I should have brought down visual aids. So I get the spray bottles from the dollar store, and I get the large bottles of hydrogen peroxide from Costco. They sell them a two-pack. They're big bottles, and they're like $3. And I get a whole bunch of them, and I just stick them in the closet. And in those spray bottles, I just put the hydrogen peroxide in like 3/4 of the way, the rest of the way water, a tiny couple drops of essential oils, and then a little bit of Castile soap, because if you just put essential oils in with just the peroxide, they kind of stay in a bunch and they don't disperse. A couple drops of like Castile soap, and you shake it up, keeps the essential oils distributed evenly throughout the peroxide. So that's what I do for cleaning. I use it on everything. It's wonderful, especially glass. It's wonderful. My wood floors, my countertops, my kitchen table. I have the little spray bottles from the dollar store, and they're hot pink, all over the house. We use them everywhere. So that could be something. But you're right, in cleaning products, those scents, and a lot of those scents, if you get the Dr. Bronner's or the Myers, those are natural scents. Those are okay. So just read the ingredients and make sure that they're not chemicals and that they're just natural, like lemon verbena is a big one. Not everything is terrible. And listen, you don't have to get rid of freaking everything all at once. Little by little, you just, every week, every 2 weeks, every month, you're like, oh, you know what? I just ran out of fabric softener sheets. Let me go get the sensitive skin ones, the ones with no scents on them. Let me go, switch to the wool dryer balls, or balls of aluminum foil. I use them a lot too, because my kids, they take their clothes out of the dryer like this, right? And the dryer balls are in there. So then all the dryer balls are gone, and I gotta go searching for them in their rooms. Anyway, so then I'm like, all right, aluminum foil, and I just go like this and stick in the dryer. That works too in a pinch. Quinn, I always look at the retrospect, me now versus at the beginning, when I used to feel like crap on a cracker. Shit on a cracker, shit on a steak. Yeah, no, absolutely. It's these little things. So you don't have to go crazy and like change your entire life and, do everything tomorrow. Like, oh my God, I'm feeding the virus. Little by little, you just change over. Just like when you're going gluten-free, you didn't say, okay, tomorrow I'm going to be completely gluten-free. You're going to say, tomorrow I'm going to start reading labels. I'm going to start learning what gluten is. And little by little, you're going to evolve into this. This is a process. The entire Starve, Kill, Detox protocol, it is a process. If you go too fast, you're going to crash and burn, and you're going to give up. You're going to get symptoms. You're going to overwhelm not only are you going to overwhelm your body, but you're going to overwhelm your mind. And I think that comes first, overwhelming your mind. You have to take this in chunks and go, okay, I'm going to focus on this. Once I have this, and this is like second nature, I don't even have to think about it anymore, then I'm going to do this. Then I'm going to do this. This chemical thing, this is just, if this is new to you and you're like, shit, now I got to get rid of chemicals. Yeah, but it's okay. You're going to do the same thing that you did when you went gluten-free. You're going to do a little bit at a time. And eventually, 6 months, a year, you're going to be completely chemical-free. Or you're not going to worry so much, because the few chemicals that you do use in your house, you're going to be able to handle, because you've gotten yourself healthy and strong, and our bodies are capable of handling the shit that we bring to it, as long as we're giving it on the other end with our food, lemon water and celery juice, as long as we're giving it what it needs to handle the shit, the onslaught that we, make it deal with. it can handle it. We have a liver, we have a spleen, we have kidneys. We can do this. It's just that when we get diagnosed, we were never paying attention to this before. No one taught us how to eat so that our body can process the crap, kill the virus. We were never taught this. So don't think you did anything wrong. Don't think that you're doing anything wrong now. If you're sitting here watching this video, you're doing everything right. You're learning, you're educating yourself. You're going, okay, let me learn from the people who have done it in the past. You don't have to go crazy fast, and you don't have to do it all at once. Trust me, you will crash and burn. I did, everyone does. You go slow, a little bit at a time. Schedule a coaching call, just one. Schedule just one and be like, all right, set me up. What do I need to do? And then schedule another one in 6 months. However you want to do it. Get the help, reach out, connect with people. That's what Minding Your Soul is for. And I keep forgetting. Okay, so let me do some of my my marketing and advertising that I just got advice on. If you like this video and you want it to be seen more by other people, hit the like button so that it boosts the algorithm and it gets seen more. There, I did my job. All right, so next question. Why does celery juice make me nauseous and cause my stomach to make noises? That was posted in the group a little while ago. Celery juice, among the other 100 things that it does, the medical medium wrote an entire book on what celery juice does. Celery juice, what we're using it for, number one, is I gotta take this off because it's distracting me every time I point. This is what I'm thinking about. All right, so celery juice kills the Epstein-Barr virus on contact, literally on contact. So if you drink the celery juice and you have loose stools, or your stomach is making noise, or it's kind of like talking and turning, that's all the die-off. That's all the dead virus in your. And the reason why we get loose stools or diarrhea that sends us running to the bathroom is because when the celery juice finds the virus inside your gut lining, it has a literal and actual light at the end of the tunnel to get it out. Whereas when it finds it in the rest of your body, it doesn't have an immediate exit. So it's got to use the proper systems, the lymphatic system, the excretory system. It's got to go through the all the lymphatic veins in our body. When the celery juice finds the virus in your gut lining, it has a light at the end of the tunnel, and it goes, get this shit out, and it evacuates. If you're not getting the gurgling sounds and the loud noises, the loose stools, if you're not getting that, don't think that the celery juice isn't working. Celery juice can't not work. It's just what it does. So the reason why you might not be getting it is because the virus doesn't like your gut. Maybe you have been eating healthy for a long time. Maybe you don't have a very toxic gut lining. You probably don't, because most people do eat healthy, and they found this group a long time ago, and they have made changes: gluten-free, dairy-free, egg-free. So the virus is like, I don't want to be here. This sucks here. There's nothing for me to eat. Let me go. And it goes into another organ, usually our liver and our spleen. So if you're having the noises, the gurgling, the loose stools, it's just because the celery juice is doing its job. Lemon water does that too. The lemon, it kills pathogens instantly, and it creates this gas inside of us as the pathogens die. It's the dead virus, the dead pathogens, they also affect us. Our nerves, they affect our skin. The corpse of the Epstein-Barr virus is a neurotoxin and a dermatoxin. I'll tell you a story. My daughter, 8 weeks ago, she's like, Mom, my skin is awful. She had mono 2 years ago, so of course she has the streptococcus virus. And her skin was just covered in the cystic acne. And she won't do the celery juice. She won't do it. Because when she had mono, I was giving her celery juice like twice a day. And I left one night, I left it next to her nightstand. And she woke up and she was so sick, and she was smelling the old celery juice from the night before for hours, and she said, I will never drink it again. I'm like, fine, you can still heal everything without drinking celery juice. So 8 weeks ago, she's like, I gotta clear up my skin, Mom. What do? I said, celery juice. She's like, I'm not doing that. I said, okay, so we'll do everything else. We'll do the bunch of tinctures. We'll up your zinc. We'll actually introduce her to the zinc. And we did it every night. I'm like, don't eat a stitch of cheese. She's already gluten-free and vegetarian, but she would eat cheese every now and then. I'm like, don't eat cheese. You're not going to eat eggs. You're not going to eat cheese. You're already gluten-free. And we're going to up the tinctures and the zinc. So at week 7, She's like, Mom, look, she had a big patch on her neck. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. And she looks at me, she's like, really? Is that awesome? My prom is in 2 weeks. Tell me, Janine, how is this awesome? And I go, all right, listen, relax, listen. You know that the virus only lives for 6 weeks, right? She's like, yeah, I get it. Virus only lives for 6 weeks. As you begin to kill the virus, it comes out of your body. All of that virus that we killed is now coming out of your body. The dead virus is a neurotoxin and it's a dermatoxin. Derma, skin. It's going to affect your skin. It's going to come out through your skin and it's going to affect your skin. So these big patches are just a sign that your skin is healing. And I'm like, look at your face. Her face is flat now. Everything's cleared up. But she just has a little scarring left. So we're putting the zinc actually right on top, and it's making a huge difference. So that's what I mean about the peaks and the valleys. She right away freaked out and thought, oh my God, I'm getting worse. I have patches now on my neck. The patches only lasted a couple days. She's 17, so her body heals really quickly. The patches only lasted a couple days, but did you see her reaction? She freaked out right away. Oh my God, and I smiled, and she got pissed off, and she's like, what? Because I knew what was going on. I knew she had killed a virus and now it's coming out of her skin. You have to know what's going on inside of your body so that you can get through those valleys. Those peaks are great, but the valleys are scary as hell because we have all this evidence to support in our past that nothing fucking works. We were never able to heal before. We may have tried protocols in the past and they never worked. So what makes me think that I'm doing the right thing doing this protocol? You have to know what you're going through so that you can have the proper perspective and get through that valley, get through that trench with ease without going through the mindfuck of, oh my God, I'm getting worse, what did I do? And then go through that spiral, that what do they call it? The pigeonhole? Someone said it perfectly, the rabbit hole, sorry. So you don't go down that rabbit hole of I'm getting worse, and then that's going to prevent your healing, and that's going to keep you in the hole that much longer. Monica says, I'm having a scratchy throat and coughing since after taking the celery juice. Is that a sign for devirusing? I love that, devirusing. You know what? We don't know, Monica. We don't know if you're having a scratchy throat and a cough because of allergies that are going on out there, because of the celery juice, because you got something, you caught something from somebody. We don't know. All the answers are in hindsight. So what you do is you stop the celery juice and then you see what happens. And then you start the celery juice again. And if you're starting the celery juice again and you got that same scratchy throat and cough, then you know. Unfortunately, me or the medical medium or anyone coaching anyone through the medical medium shit is not going to be able to tell you, yes, this is exactly what's going on. All of the answers, because everyone's different, all of the answers are in hindsight. So that's why we take this step by step. You start the lemon water and the celery juice first. How do you react to that? Once you know how you react to that, then you move on to the heavy metal detox smoothie 4, 5, 6 weeks later. Because then you're going to have to know exactly how you react to the heavy metal detox smoothies. Some people don't react at all. Some people do. But you have to know your body, and everybody is different. So Monica, unfortunately, the only way to know that is to stop the celery juice and see what happens. I know. I'm sorry. I would like a better answer than that, too. Cynthia says, my EBV must be really big because I've never shit so much in my entire life. Cynthia, I felt the same way. Make sure you take breaks. I love that you said that. I always said in the beginning, I'm like, there's not enough gold bond in the world. You have to take breaks from that. Even if you are handling it like emotionally, physically, and you're like, that's fine, I could shit every single day, like watery. You really can't, because the skin around your butthole gets really sensitive. You have to give your body a break, right? You have to let things heal. So yeah, I know. I think I was over 6 months. It was over 6 months of me starting and stopping. And back in 2015, when I first started this, I'm like, this is fucking ridiculous. And I was already about 60% healed. And I was still shitting like crazy. I was like, is this ever going to go back to normal? I would take breaks. It would go back to normal. I'd start again. I would have loose watery stool again. So listen, it could take months. But just keep at it. Just keep at it and make sure you take breaks. I fucking love that you just said that. I just can't stop shitting. Does anyone have a problem? Deanna says, does anyone have a problem with lemon juice? I get extreme headaches when I start with it. Start slower and start with less lemon. Yes, because the lemon also kills off pathogens. So Put in enough lemon so that you can taste it, but don't put in so much that it burns your throat. Whatever you're doing right now, back off a little bit, just a little bit. Just put a little bit of that lemon. That lemon, it kills off the pathogens, but it also brings the life back to your water. There's enzymes and minerals in that lemon. So you want a little bit in there, but you don't want too much. If it's causing you extreme headaches, then please back off of that. And is it the celery juice too? This is all trial and error. You try it, and then you go, oh, no, error, that doesn't feel good, and then you back off of it, and then you start again, and you go slow. And some people really, I had a client who had to work up to doing the lemon water at all, because the same thing would happen. She'd drink any amount of lemon water, and she'd get a headache. Very sensitive, sick for many years. But now she can drink lemon water, no problem. Yeah, it took her over 6 months to get to that point. We don't know how sensitive our bodies are. We cannot unzip our bodies, open it up, and go, oh, there's the problem. We only have to go by how we feel. All right, excellent questions. Okay, so the other question, the last question I'm going to do, but then I'm going to go to the thread and answer those questions. How often can I eat the fuck it food? So a couple of weeks ago, I did a, maybe it was last week, I did the Live at 5 called Fuck This Shit. And I talked about how every now and then you're going to be like, you know what, fuck this shit. I don't want to eat any fruits. I don't want to eat any vegetables. I need a pint of ice cream. I need Netflix, and I need the couch and a blanket. And we're going to have those days, and that's perfectly fine. That's why I say always, why is that so frizzy? Okay. That's why I say always start with your comfort foods. Make sure you get your dairy-free, gluten-free, and egg-free comfort foods in your house first. Now, can you still heal eating just your fucking foods, your processed crap? I don't know. I don't think anyone really wants to try that. I think what you want to do is build up your immune system and eat as many fruits and vegetables and healthy foods as you can. We all know how to eat healthy, right? But we all know that every now and then, whether it be once a week, once every 2 weeks, 3 times a week, we just can't. And when you're feeling that way, don't push through. Don't say, I'm going to do this no matter what, because eventually you are going to crash and burn through that. Sparingly. The more breaks you take, the less breaks you're going to need. So in the beginning, you might go 3 days with eating really healthy, and by the 4th day, you're like, you know what, I'm done. You're still going to do the gluten-free, dairy-free, and egg-free, but maybe you're having ice cream for breakfast. The more grace you give yourself, the more breaks you allow yourself to take, the less you're going to need them. You have to give yourself that time to say, I can't do this anymore. I need a break. Take the break. So I'm not saying to live on the fuck it foods, but I'm saying do it in moderation. Make sure you're not going balls to the wall. Make sure there is some balance, and that balance is going to be different for every single person. You don't know who's fighting what battle in their life. They might be able to go 2 days eating healthy, and by the 3rd day they're like, nope, have an ice cream for breakfast or whatever. Fine, do that, because the more grace you give yourself, the stronger you're going to get. And eventually maybe you're at once a month where you're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore, I need a break. The more grace you give yourself, the less you're going to need, and the stronger you will be. So I'm going to post in the group, I'll put it in the files section, that diagram that I did where the green foods, the yellow, and the red. So the green are the fruits and vegetables, the yellow are the gluten-free processed crap. You want to eat that sparingly, but in today's world you really can't avoid that. And then the red inflammatory foods. Yeah, they're inflammatory, but they're really good. The alcohol, all the processed sugar, the corn, you can have that because it doesn't feed the virus, but it inflames the shit out of your body. MS or not, if you're human, it inflames the shit out of your body. That's why, MS or not, you want to feed your body what it needs and sparingly throw in that other stuff, because we need our bodies to be able to keep up with the onslaught of chemicals that we have, that we come in contact with in this world. No matter how good you are, how careful you are, it doesn't matter. They're falling from the sky, these chemicals. We need to make sure that we're giving our bodies what we need. And as we're healing, we need to give our body even more. Once you're healed, you're just on maintenance. I don't do the celery juice every day. Oh, God. 3 days a week if I'm lucky. It's just a consistent part of my day. The lemon water, yes, but I've come to, it's so weird to even say this, I don't want coffee first thing in the morning. I want my lemon water. I used to, when I first started this, I would do 6 days a week of lemon water first, and then on Sundays my husband and I would either walk or drive to the diner depending on the weather, and I would say, you know what, on Sundays, I'm going to drink my coffee first. And I would do that because I would give myself the grace. Sunday's off. I'm going to the diner. I'm going to have a cup of coffee, and I'm going to have my avocado toast. They brought in gluten-free bread for me. So I would do that, and then I noticed something. I'm like, I really don't like the way I feel the rest of the day. I don't have a ton of energy. Like, Sundays are not good. Let me try having the lemon water before I go to the diner. I tried that, and I started feeling really good again on Sundays. I was like, holy shit. You see what I mean, though? Like, I gave myself that grace first to be like, you know what? Fuck it. Sundays, I go to the diner, I'm going to have a cup of coffee. And then because I allowed myself to do that, I was aware of how I was feeling. I'm like, I don't like how I'm feeling. I don't feel I have enough energy or as much energy as I usually do Monday through Saturday. I'm going to do the lemon water first. But it was my choice. I wasn't told, no, Janine, you have to do this 7 days a week and you have to do this. Because if anyone told me that, I would have totally rebelled against that. That's just my personality. I would rebel against it. I'd be like, no, there's no way. You give your body the grace, and that's why you do this in an evolution. A lot of the people in this group we're very similar, you know. We're balls to the wall. We're all or nothing. I have learned the hard way, time and time again. I'm still learning the hard way with other things in my life. You can't be an all or nothing type personality. You have to find the balance, and that's the hard part. Doing everything all at once, that's not hard, right? You use that motivation, you use that inspiration, you do it all, and then you crash, and then you're like, oh, all right, well, I guess I got to do it again. And then you get that rush of the motivation and the inspiration. You go balls to the wall. That doesn't work. The hard part, doing the hard balancing act, that's the sweet spot. That's where the healing takes place. It's in learning how to balance. And you think I'm coming at you with all this wisdom because I do that in my life all the time? Fuck no. I struggle so much with balance, but I have learned in my life with how I eat, I need to balance. I need to give myself the grace. I need to give myself those fuck it days, this is why I teach this. Because I have found that in this, I can't believe it's part of 6 already. In this protocol, when a client said to me recently, Janine, you have the most success stories of all the other protocols. I don't know if that's true. It sounded great. Really, my ego felt good about that. I don't know if that's true. But she's like, no, Janine, it is. And I started thinking, all right, well, let's say it's true. Why is that true? What makes this protocol different? Because if you look at all the other protocols, we're all doing the same thing. We're bringing the body back into balance. We're giving the body what it needs. What makes this protocol different? The process, the grace, the steps, the understanding, the peaks and valleys. Think about it. Let's take Terry Walls, for example, and the 9 cups of vegetables. I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't say directly to Terry. I would say, Terry, you didn't wake up one day and say, I'm going to have 9 cups of vegetables every single day. I'm going to eat liver for breakfast. No, I know she doesn't do it for breakfast. I'm going to eat liver, and I'm going to eat all the 9 cups of vegetables, and I'm going to do all of this stuff, and that's how I'm going to heal. And one day she's in a wheelchair. The next day she's eating 9 cups of vegetables, and she's like, oh my God, I'm healed. No, it was an evolution over many, many years, and the end result, the conclusion was that sweet spot was 9 cups of vegetables for her every single day. So then she sold the program. What people do is they go, I want to heal. I want to heal like Terry. I want to eat. I'm going to say what she says to do. I'm going to eat those 9 cups of vegetables. And then they can't because they don't evolve into it. I still don't eat 9 cups of vegetables a day. I don't know who can. You don't have to eat 9 cups of vegetables to heal. You have to eat mostly fruits and vegetables and sprinkle in the rest. But it is the evolution. That's where the healing is. That's when you're going to get to the healing. When you understand that you don't just wake up one day with this whole perfect protocol. You learn the process. And I think that's why this protocol has the most success stories. Go to mindingyoursoul.com. Go down the success stories. Listen, read what everybody says. It is a process. It's an evolution. Give your body the grace that it needs. All right, I feel like I'm on a soapbox. I'm going to stop now. All right, so I want to get to all of the questions that were in. Okay, that's not it. I wanted to get to all of the questions that were in the event because there were some really good questions in there, and I'm stalling right now because I can't find it. Hold on. I got it. I will find this. I got 3 times in here I went live. All right. Events. New diagram. Here we go. All right, so guys, give me a second. I don't know why Seymour Okay. All right. So you know what? Put your questions in here for now. I don't know why. I feel so unprepared today. So if you're with me, stay with me just a second. Let me go into my notifications. Maybe I will find them in there. Oh, I think I found them. Yep, I do. Okay, sorry. I know I'm so bad at this. Okay. So Rita asks, are you doing your Wednesday weekly talk this week, Janine? Yes, I am. Here I am. Grace says, I have a question, Janine. What are the options if there are days when you can't drink all your lemon water and celery juice first thing? I love this question. Example, on days where I go into the office, I can't drink 32 ounces before I get on my train. Oh, God, no. Please don't. Best way to drink celery juice later in the day, question mark. All right, Grace, this is an excellent question. And this is about you do not have to do this protocol the same way every single day. You don't have to beat yourself up if you wake up and you're like, I am not drinking 32 ounces of anything before I leave the house, especially I have to go sit on a train. No, have a couple sips of water. Bring your coffee with you on the train if you drink coffee. Have a couple sips of water first thing in the morning just to get things flowing. Couple sips of water, that's it. Or if you're like, you know what, I don't want to drink anything before I get on that train, don't. Wait till you get to the office, have some water. On the days that you can do your 16 ounces of lemon water, wait 20 minutes, and then drink your 16 ounces of celery juice. On the days that you can do that, that's when you do it. Well, Janine, I can only do that 2 days a week. Well, then only do it 2 days a week. That's fine. What if you just drank a little bit of lemon water, 5 ounces in the morning, just to flush out some of those toxins, help your liver out, and then maybe around 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon when your stomach is empty, you brought your celery juice with you and you drink it then. Or maybe you only drink your celery juice Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's fine. Yes, when you're bedridden and you're trying like hell to get out of bed and walk and heal, and you have every resource to drink the celery juice every single day, then great, do that. You're still going to want to take breaks though. Listen to your body, take breaks when you need to. But what I'm saying is you don't fit this protocol into your life. It's the other way around. You fit your life into the protocol. Some days are going to be great. Some days you're going to drink that lemon water, the celery juice, everything's going to be easy. You're going to have fruits and vegetables all day long. You're not going to want anything bad for you, and you're going to have a day where you're like, wow, I kick ass, right? And then you're going to have another day where you're like, I was late to the train. I didn't drink a goddamn thing. On the train, I got a cup of coffee, and then I got off the train, and you know what? I got a hot dog on the side of the road. I didn't eat the bun though. And then, I ate like crap for the rest of the day. Okay, great. That was Wednesday. Leave Wednesday in the past. Who cares? On Thursday, you start again. And maybe you drink a little bit of water and you get the celery juice later in the day. You fit this protocol into your life and you do it the best you can. I'm telling you, the more grace you give yourself, the less you're going to need it. Do it with ease. You ease into this, and it's going to be amazing how all of a sudden you're going to be like, oh, you know what? I can tweak something over there. Maybe I can throw celery juice in over there. In order to heal, you do not have to do this perfectly. The only thing that you have to do perfectly in order to heal is this, the gluten-free. You cannot touch the gluten. Cannot touch the gluten. I'm telling you, the symptoms I've seen with myself, with other clients, you cannot touch the gluten. You see this calendar right here? Everyone on here, we mark down the last day that they ate gluten so that we can count the weeks, because I learned very early on in my coaching that every time they said, Janine, I can't believe I walked yesterday for the first time, Janine. And the shift would happen. I'd always be like, fuck, they ate gluten. I think that was like 8 or 9 weeks. I think that was like 2 months ago. Then I got smart and I started writing down, okay, when was the last time you had gluten? We write it down on the calendar, we circle it, because every single time the shift happens at week 8, 9, and 10, and they're like, oh my God, the energy. That's when people are walking. That's when you see the success stories on the website. It's that 8, 9, 10 week mark. So listen, the only thing that you have to do perfectly on this protocol is find a way to be completely gluten-free. Everything else you just fit into your life. You fit into your life when you can. And you give yourself grace, and this is a balance. I'm going to say it again. You fit the protocol into your life. You don't rearrange your life around the protocol. Trust me, everything happens, and it's just going to be a natural progression until eventually it's just your lifestyle and it's easy to do and you don't even think about it. And then you meet your future husband and he's like, oh my God, I can't believe you guys are gluten-free in this house because we eat so well. That was my husband, and it was absolutely amazing. I'm like, I know, like, he forgets that everything is gluten-free in this house. Well, not anymore, he doesn't. It's been 6 years, but he was completely surprised. It does get easier. Trust me, it gets easier. And if you want my help, if you want a conversation, there, I keep my prices so low, so hopefully everyone go schedule a consultation. I did start charging for the consultations. They're not free anymore. They're $10 because we had a lot of new people in the group, and I was scheduling a lot of consultations were being scheduled and people weren't showing up. I'm like, I gotta charge something, so I started charging $10. So the consultations are $10, but if you want coaching, go online. One coaching session, I will set you up. I never hold anything back and be like, well, you need to buy I don't even offer packages. Just schedule a session. Let's get you up and going. I think everything I eat contains gluten. Deanna, schedule a call with me. Listen, it's amazing how much I eat and it doesn't contain gluten. So if you're struggling with something, just ask me and I will give you the gluten-free version of it, the good tasting gluten-free version of it. All right, so there was another question in here that I really wanted to address. There's a couple of them. Sarah, Cars, if you already have quite low blood pressure, do you think celery juice can make it too low? And then a lot of people chimed in because that's a good concern. Wanda said, good question, Sarah. I have low blood pressure too, always have. Amy said, Sarah, great question. I've always had significantly low blood pressure. So here's the great thing about celery juice. High blood pressure is a huge thing all around the world. So we're always talking about celery juice lowering blood pressure. But if you go do your reading on the medical medium about celery juice stabilizes blood pressure. It doesn't do anything to lower it, and it doesn't do anything to increase it. It stabilizes your blood pressure. So if you have high blood pressure, it's going to stabilize and bring your body back into balance and allow your body to do what it needs to do so that it can regulate your blood pressure. It doesn't make it higher and it doesn't make it lower. It just stabilizes it. So there's a lot of people talking about like the sodium. The sodium in celery salt is completely different than the sodium that you normally would find in other foods. He calls them sodium clusters, cluster salts. They're completely different. It doesn't raise or lower your blood pressure. It just stabilizes it. Oh, Nancy, I thought this was interesting. She asked a question. I bought a lemon, which is a hybrid of a mandarin orange and a lemon. Is that okay to use as lemon water? Oh my God, use it, 1, because it sounds delicious. 2, because it's still citrus. The best way to clean out your body, of course, is with lemon or lime. Those are 2 of the most powerful, but any citrus does work. So if you want to use that, even if you wanted to use it just because it was delicious and you wanted a change, then absolutely use that. It's citrus. It's a fruit. Use it. Yes, again, you don't have to be so strict about everything. Do what feels right to you. So if you bought that and it tastes good, absolutely use it. All right. Oh, that was mine. Oh, Flora, I have a question as well. Can you go over the amounts of the different ingredients in the heavy metal detox smoothie? I saw on the shopping list file the doses are reduced compared to the medical medium recipe, so I was a little confused. Yeah, you know what's so funny? Yeah, he's really messing all of us up. Hold on a second. All right, so in his new book, The Brain Saver, he's got this chapter on the heavy metal detox smoothie. And the original one, there's 2 of them now. There's the original one, and then there's the advanced one. I don't know how anyone could do the advanced one. If you want to do the advanced one, you go right ahead. Basically, it's the same ingredients. It's the same amount of bananas and blueberries, but then he doubles everything else. So the cilantro, the barley grass juice powder, the spirulina, it's all doubled. The oranges, that's a lot. The original heavy metal detox smoothie makes a lot. That I make half of the heavy metal detox smoothie every day, 6 times a day, 6 times a week maybe. But I make half of it, whatever fits in my blender cup. I always look around and see if I have it near me. Whatever fits in my blender cup, that's what I make. I drink that every day. You don't have to be so specific in that I have to do double every single day. You want to do as much as your body will allow you to do. If half feels good to you and you're able to get half in every day, every other day, then great, do that. If you're feeling like, you know what, I want a little bit more, I think I can handle a little bit more, then you're going to do a little bit more. You're going to listen to your body. You're not going to listen to me or anyone else saying you need to drink 32 ounces every single day or else you're never going to heal. No, not at all. You know what your body can handle. You know what your body needs. You know what your body wants. You listen to your body. So, to make it easier, what I do, I drink half every single day. Whatever fits in my blender cup, that's what I make, that's what I drink. As far as what's better, the wild blueberries, the blueberry juice, or the powder, he doesn't say. He says use any one of them. A lot of people across the world can't get, like South Africa, she can't get wild blueberries, frozen wild blueberries, so she uses the powder. He says any one is fine. And then other times he says that the wild blueberries, the frozen ones, are best. Listen, blueberries, however you can get them in your body, however you can get them in your part of the world, just get them in. If you can't get all of the ingredients in the heavy metal detox smoothie, get in what you can get in. Just do what you can do and build from there. If it takes you 2 years to get the whole thing in, that's fine. You're going to build upon your success. What do you think of using zeolite if you find the heavy metal too much? You know what? I can only comment on what the medical medium says, and the medical medium likes to use foods in order to get rid of the heavy metals. He doesn't talk much about the zeolite, and I'm not a doctor. I can't recommend to use zeolite or not. I like talking about the medical medium because that's what I use to heal, and because I'm not a doctor or certified in anything, I'm not a registered dietitian, I just healed myself of MS with medical medium shit. So that's what I talk about, and I think it's safest to use the food stuff. I don't know anything about zeolite. I do know what the medical medium says about what was that? People were using it to detox the heavy metals. Oh, chlorella. They were using chlorella to detox heavy metals. And what chlorella does, what the medical medium says, is that it will lift heavy metals from your body, from your brain, but it drops them. That's why it drops them in another place in your body. That's why he talks about the ingredients of the heavy metal detox smoothie all working together, because all of those ingredients in the heavy metal smoothie don't lift up all the heavy metals. Each one does a little something different, and each one kind of grabs from the other one, so they all work together to lift and carry safely out of your body the heavy metals. Other things, and I don't know if the zeolite is like this at all. I know the chlorella is like this. But what I'm saying is you got to do your research first. Look up to see if the medical medium says anything about the zeolite like he says about the chlorella. All I know is that the heavy metal detox smoothie, it's safe, it's gentle, and not only is it lifting the heavy metals out of your body, but you're flooding your body with those antioxidants, those free electrons that are bringing down the free radicals. So I would always stick with that. Even if you only do a small version of the heavy metal smoothie, do something. I would like to do that better, but I can't tell you what to do or what not to do, but I do appreciate the question. Oh, Sarah, you're on here. Awesome. Sarah says she can't get fresh wild blueberries in the UK. Use the powder. It's fine. Perfect. See? You use what you can. You utilize your resources, whatever they are in whatever part of the country that you're in. You utilize your resources and you just keep moving forward. That's all you do. And you don't beat yourself up, and you give yourself grace, and when you're hungry, you eat. I hear so many times, well, I'm not sure, I don't want to eat the right. It doesn't matter. Just eat. Don't eat gluten. Then anything else, doesn't matter. Give your body nourishment. Give your body food. When in doubt, eat a fruit or vegetable. If you can't, you need a gluten-free cookie at the time, go eat a gluten-free cookie, because your joy is going to be much more important than anything else. Your joy always comes first. And if your joy comes in the form of a gluten-free cookie, God damn it, eat it. All right, I just want to make sure that I've hit all the questions. Flora, Sarah, I got yours, and Nancy, I got yours. Okay, good. Let me just go through here. I find organic celery from Costco tastes much nicer than non-organic from other places. Cheaper too, right? So different. So Costco sells the 2.5 pound bag of celery. It's already like the leaves are removed, and if remove your leaves, it makes it really bitter. The leaves are already removed, the base is removed, it's already washed, it's organic. You open the bag, you throw it in your juicer, done, easy. It's like a 2-minute process, and it tastes a lot better, the organic celery juice. The other stuff is like really, but again, you use what you can get. If you can only get your basic conventional celery juice in your store, fine, that's better than nothing. Utilize your resources, do what you can. Just making sure before we ended, I think I answered all the questions. I just want to make sure I got everything. You have to spare the 9 cups out. Michael, I wonder what you meant by that. You have to spare the 9 cups out. Oh, I think you were replying to somebody else. Claire and Cynthia, I envy you. I tried the celery juice one time and packed my juicer and returned it. Now I regret it. I'm going to try it again slowly. Deanna, that is the perfect example of the evolution, right? Perfect example. You tried this, you bought a juicer, you tried the celery, you drank it, and you're like, this is disgusting. You clean the juicer, you packed it up, and you're like, here you go, Kohl's. I don't want it anymore. I got mine from Kohl's. So then life goes on. You start reading stuff, you start watching stuff, and you're like, shit, it kills the Epstein-Barr virus on contact. Oh my God, and that's the reason for my symptoms? Okay, you know what, let me give it another go. And then you drink it again, you're like, all right, maybe this isn't so bad. It is the knowledge, it is the education that really changes our perspective and then changes our reaction to things. That is a perfect example. You have to make yourself happy. And if you're going to be miserable drinking celery juice, then you're not going to drink it. You can't do something that you're miserable doing. You can't say, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, even though I fucking hate it and I absolutely detest celery juice. No. Once you know more about it, though, your perspective changes. And then you're like, all right, maybe this doesn't taste so bad now that I know what it's doing inside of my body. That's what this entire starve, kill, detox process is all about. We follow the medical medium in this group, and we do it in an evolution, and we are kind to our bodies, and we don't say, okay, I'm going to be healed in 3 months. You might be healed in 3 months, but my God. One of my clients just came across a piece of information that was very important that the medical medium said. He said, figure, because people are always looking for how long is it going to take me to heal? How long am I going to have to go through this in order to feel something? You're going to feel something right away. You give your body what it needs. Even after 2 weeks of lemon water and celery juice, even just lemon water, people are like, oh my God. You really feel the difference in the energy first and the lack of the brain fog, right? How long does it take to heal? He said, figure 1 year on the protocol for every decade that you've been sick. So if you've been sick for 2 decades, then figure it's going to take you about 2 years. Knowing the information. Like for me, I didn't know what I was doing. It took me 10 years. I hadn't been sick. I had been sick for less than 10 years, and it took me 10 years to heal, but I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have this information. You guys now have this information. It's not about going fast, and it's not about doing it perfectly. It's just about moving forward. Just moving forward. Keeping your mind at ease and just continuing to move forward. And I know that it's easier said than done. That's why we have this. That's why I offer the consultations and the coaching calls and the group coaching, because we need to understand that we're all doing this together, and we need to hear the stories of other people. So that's where Minding Your Soul really comes into play. For everyone who's healing, Minding Your Soul is the place to go, oh yeah, I've been through that too. Don't worry, it gets better. Oh, you know what? I did this, and then I found out that this was better. So keep doing what you're doing in this group. It's very powerful. People are healing. Go to mindingyoursoul.com. Read the success stories. When you're having a bad day and you need some inspiration, go to those success stories, because there's not just stories, there's videos on there. People, I never asked them to make videos. I never asked anyone to make a video, and they just wanted to show you. They wanted to show everybody, look, I'm walking, I'm running. I always thought I fucking hated running. I never thought I'd be a runner, but then I was able to run, and oh my God, I do it because I can. I do it because I can. So anyway, I don't want to get off on a tangent now. It's 6 o'clock. I'm so sorry for taking up an hour of your time. I hope this answered a lot of questions. If you have any more questions and you haven't had a consultation yet, please go ahead and schedule one. If you've already had a consultation, go schedule a 45-minute session with me. Let's get everybody on track, get everybody healing, because once you heal, you're going to teach somebody else how to heal. And that's how we're going to spread this information. And that is how we are going to end suffering for everybody, because MS is just a virus. The suffering is completely unnecessary, and everybody heals. Why? Because it's just a fucking virus. Good tagline. Just came up with that. All right, everyone. Everyone have a great night, and I will see you hopefully next Wednesday's live at 5 or whatever. I'll see you when I see you. Have a great night.